For this tutorial, I'm going to show how to crochet these easy granny square fingerless gloves. As you can see, they have these cute bows. They are very much easy to make, and you can just use simple granny square stitches. For granny square tutorial is linked in the description box as well as the material. Again, just make sure your granny squares have only 3 rounds for size small. If you want your gloves to be big, then you can add more rounds. So to begin with joining, make a slip knot, and you can use any yarn color of your choice. You can start in one of the corner, bring the loop like that, chain 1 to fully attach the yarn. Now make 3 double crochet into that same corner, and continue making 3 double crochet in each space all the way until you reach the corner. Once you reach the corner, make 3 double crochet into this same corner, chain 2, make more 3 double crochet back into the same corner, and continue making 3 double crochet in each space all the way until you reach the 3rd corner. In this 3rd corner, just make 3 double crochet, chain 1, turn your granny squares. Turn your granny square because you're going to attach your 2nd granny square. Just turn your work like this to attach your 2nd granny square. And just make sure your granny squares are facing the same side when you're attaching them together. And you're going to do so with a method called crochet as you go method. So make a double crochet in one of the corner for the 2nd granny square. Release the hook, slip stitch into this 1st stitch for the 1st granny square. Make 1 more double crochet into the 2nd granny square's corner. Slip stitch into the next stitch for the 1st granny square. Make 1 more double crochet into the 2nd granny square's corner, and just make sure into that corner there should be 3 double crochet stitches like this. Now continue making 3 double crochet into the next space, and just continue releasing the hook after you have completed each double crochet stitch, and continue slip stitching into the next stitch for the 1st granny square. And for the 1st granny square, do not skip any stitch, and for the 2nd granny square, make sure in each space there should be 3 double crochet stitches, and all those 3 granny squares they should be attached to this 1st granny square. And just continue doing that all the way until you reach the corner here. And you are going to do the same thing in the corner. Just make a double crochet, release the hook, slip stitch into the next stitch, 1 more double crochet, release the hook, slip stitch into the next stitch, the 3rd double crochet, release the hook, slip stitch into this last stitch like this, chain 1, then your granny squares like this. And now you're going to continue working up on this side for the 2nd granny square without attaching it to the 1st one. So make 3 double crochet into that same corner for the 2nd granny square to complete it, and without attaching them to this 1st granny square. And now continue making 3 double crochet in each space all the way until you reach the next corner for this 2nd granny square. Once you reach the corner, make 3 double crochet into each, chain 2, make 3 double crochet back into that same corner, and continue making 3 double crochet in each space all the way until you reach the next corner, which is this corner. I'll meet you once I reach this corner to show the next step. So once you reach this corner, chain 2 again. Make sure you have made the first 3 double crochet into that corner, chain 2, make 3 double crochet back into that same corner again to complete the corner. Now continue making 3 double crochet in each space all the way until you reach this corner here. Make 3 double crochet as well in this corner to complete it. Chain 1, try to look for the chain 1 space between your granny squares here, because this is the part where your granny squares have made. Slip stitch into that chain 1 space, chain 1 again. Now you're going to make 3 double crochet into this next corner for the 2nd granny square to complete it as well. And continue making 3 double crochet in each space all the way until you reach the next corner. I'll meet you once I reach the corner to show you the next step. So once you reach this corner, just make sure you have made the first 3 double crochet into it, chain 1. Now just bring your granny squares together like this, slip stitch into this 2nd granny squares corner like this to bring the other yarn, chain 1, or you can just leave it like that. Then make a double crochet into this corner for the 2nd granny square, because you're going to attach your granny squares together. Release the hook, and you're just going to do the same thing. Have joined your granny squares, slip stitch into that 1st stitch for the 1st granny square, another double crochet into it, and remember you're going to make 3 double crochet into that corner to complete it. Like that. Now continue making 3 double crochet. Do the same thing into the next space, and just continue releasing the hook. So once you get 3 double crochet into that space, now you are going to leave these spaces out like this, because it is going to be the opening where your thumb is going to be. So now just continue working on this side, because this side is already completed for the first granny square. Now you're just going to work on this side for the second granny square to complete it without attaching it to this first granny square, because you are trying to leave an open space here for your thumb. So now just make a double crochet into the next space for the second granny square, but do not attach it to this first granny square. Just as usual, make 3 double crochet in that, and continue making 3 double crochet into the corner as well. Chain 2 to complete your corner, and slip stitch on top of the first double crochet stitch you have started with to join your work. Chain 1. Now slip stitch into this corner for the first granny square to join your work. Chain 1, like that. This is how your glove must be looking like, and this is how you're going to get in, like that. So next you're going to make your cuff. Actually you're going to work across like this to shape the part that's going to cover your around your wrist. And to do so, if you want your cuffs to be small, make 1 double crochet in each chain 2 space. If you want them to be big, then you can make 2 double crochet in this chain 2 spaces. In my case, I just want to make my cuffs small, so I'm just going to make 1 double crochet in each chain 2 space. So just make 1 double crochet into that chain 2 space, and continue making 1 double crochet on top of each double crochet stitch all around, all the way until the end. And just remember, in each chain 2 space there should be 1 double crochet stitch if you want your cuffs to be small, but if you want them to be big, you can make 2 double crochet in those chain 2 spaces. So just go ahead all the way until the end. I'll meet you at the end of this round to come show the next step. So here at the end, slip stitch on top of the first double crochet stitch you have started with to join your work. Chain 1, and remember at the end you must have a total of 28 stitches if you have placed 1 double crochet in each chain 2 space, but if you have placed 2 double crochet stitch in each chain 2 space, there should be 32 stitches. Next we're going to make front post double crochet and back post double crochet. To make a front post double crochet, yarn over, just bring a double crochet stitch upward like this, I mean frontward like that, and you're going to work like that instead of working on top of it like usual. Back post double crochet, you're going to do like that. Front post, back post double crochet, and you're just going to alternate between a front post double crochet stitch and back post double crochet stitch all the way until end of this round. I'll meet you at the end to come show you the next step. At the end, slip stitch on top of this first double crochet stitch you have started with, which is actually the first front post you have started with. Chain 1 as usual. Now just make again front post and back post double crochet, and you're going to repeat this as many times as you want, depending on how big you want your cuffs to be. In my case, I'm just going to do it twice, which means this is the last round I'm going to do this front post and back post double crochet stitches. So just go ahead and repeating the same thing you've done for the previous round all the way until the end. At the end, slip stitch on top of this first double crochet stitch you have started with to join your work. Chain 1 to close, and you can cut off the yarn. If you want your cuffs to be like I said, you can continue adding more rounds, but in my case I've only done it twice. So next I'm just going to cut off the yarn. Next I'm going to shape my thumb edge, actually, which is this part, and to do so just make a slip knot. You're going to start in any stitch of your choice. I'm going to start in this chain 2 space here. Chain 1 to fully attach your yarn, then make a double crochet back into that same space. Look for the next chain 2 space here again to make a double crochet into it, and continue making double crochet on top of each double crochet stitch all the way around, all the way until the end. So which means since I'm making size small, at the end I must have a total of 14 stitches. If you are making size medium, whereas in those chain 2 spaces you are placing 2 double crochet stitches, which means at the end you must have a total of 16 double crochet stitches. At the end here, slip stitch on top of this first double crochet stitch you have started with to join your work as usual. Chain 1. Now you are going to make a front post double crochet stitch and a back post double crochet stitch the same way you have done your cuff. I'm just going to alternate between a front post double crochet stitch and back post double crochet stitch all the way around until the end. Just go ahead alternating between a front post double crochet stitch and back post double crochet stitch all the way until end of this round, the same way you have done your cuffs. At the end here, slip stitch on top of this first double crochet stitch you have started with to join your work. Chain 1 to close and you can cut off the yarn. But if you can see that there's a bit big spaces here, you can leave a long yarn tail for securing the spaces. But if you are satisfied with these spaces, then you can just go ahead and cut off the yarn. Next, you're going to shape this part, the opening where your fingers are going to come out this way. So for this part, where your fingers are going to come out of the glove, make a slip knot, and you're going to start in any stitch of your choice. Actually, I'm going to start in this chain 2 space, and for my fingers to move freely, I'm going to make 2 double crochet stitch in each chain 2 space. So just make a slip knot into it, chain 1 to fully attach your yarn, make 2 double crochet back into that same chain 2 space, and continue making double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. At the end, you must have a total of 32 stitches. At the end, slip stitch on top of this first double crochet stitch you have started with to join your work, chain 1, and you can cut off the yarn. And you're done with your fingerless glove. Next, you're going to make the strap. Actually, just to make your cuff a bit tight if you want, but it's very much optional. To do so, make a slip knot, and you're going to chain 60. So just insert the hook inside like that and chain 60 plus 1 more extra. So it's a total of 61 chains. Once you get 61 chains, just go ahead and cut off the yarn. You're going to place your strap into the glove with a yarn needle. So you have just to decide which one is going to be the front part of the cuff, because you want your bow when it's tied to be at the top of your finger like this. So this one I have done it off camera. This is how it looks like, which means this is for the right hand. This one is going to be the left hand, which means it should be like this. So I'm going to start somewhere here all the way around to place the strap, and I'm just going to start in here in this row where you have made the first double crochet stitches before you start making front post and back post double crochet stitch. And just make sure in between there should be, as you can see, this is a back post, this is a front post, so you're going to come out between them like this. There should be back post, front post between them like that. And just go ahead weaving in your strap like that all the way until the end. At the end, just tie your strap like this to form your bow, like you are tying your shoes. And you are done. This is how it must be looking like. So just go ahead and weave in all your yarn ends